Waste lagoons are gaining a reputation as a pollution source and are often the targets of stricter regulations, neighbor complaints, and litigation.
However, in our investigation of the human waste lagoon in our town, we could find almost no negative environmental impacts. We actually found many positive impacts, such as the lagoon being a storage facility for treated sludge from treatment plants and grease from restaurants that can then be spread on nearby fields as fertilizer. The lagoon has not only a plastic liner, but a clay liner to help with the possibility of leaching of waste into the water system, along with multiple pipes to test water quality to ensure that there is no contamination in the nearby groundwater.
We got the chance to interview the man who owns the company that manages the waste lagoon.
It's a 3.4 million gallon storage facility. In other words, what we do, we haul in here approximately and fill it approximately 3 times a year. It holds 3.4 million gallons. We'll haul in close to 10 million gallons of biosolids, which is from wastewater treatment facilities. And also we accept grease trap waste, so like your restaurant grease traps and so forth. Anything that's biodegradable that can be used in the soil, it can be used as a soil amendment to grow crops for fertilizer. So it's actually a recycling process. So in other words, rather than put it in landfills, getting in the creeks, streams, we take it here, we accept it, and then we put it on the ground as fertilizer. And then we grow crops in the surrounding fields that are all soil tested. And then we apply the material out of the lagoon, out of the facility, at a rate that the crop will use up the nitrogen. So that's all a DNR approved facility. Safety precautions, there's groundwater monitoring on all 4 sides of the storage facility, where we take samples every quarter, and those have to be submitted to the state of Wisconsin. So that's all safeguarded that way. There's also groundwater monitoring on background checks in case there is anything that's close to us that's giving trouble. Any incidents or leaks? No, because it's a synthetic lined lagoon or pond. In other words, it has a plastic liner that goes underneath and then back up into the bank, so it's all lined, so it can't leach out at all. It can't leak. If there would be an event, it could be simply emptied out, cleaned up, and repair the liner. How is the liner maintained? Just by visually keeping it covered and then checking the groundwater monitoring. When was it put in place? It was originally built in 1983 and it was rebuilt in 1992 to meet new specs. When will it be retired? Full? Well, it's pumped out 3 times a year, so it never does get full. So we just use it up on the land. Are there any additives or chemicals? No, we don't have to add anything. It's all a natural process. It's all biodegradable, like I said. How much is dumped in or unloaded in? And it varies, but about 10 million gallons a year. How often? Pretty much daily, except Saturday or Sundays. How many trucks unload in a day? That varies. Trucks, it can be from maybe as little as 5 trucks in a day, as many as 20 trucks in a day can be unloaded here. How many gallons in one truck? Well, the truck that was just here holds 7,000 gallons. But it's pretty much a DNR approved licensed facility that has to be done. We try to put it out here so there are odors, and there are odors from time to time when things are musty and stuff like that, but it's comparable like a lot of times to cow manure and stuff like that when it's spread out in the fields. So you do get some odors off of it, but so we try to put it in a remote location and we let the vegetation, the trees and everything grow up to help with that.
So the corn's not for the cows?
Cows are, well, no, it actually gets sold. It can go to people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people can eat the corn because it's grown above ground. Yeah. If it was, like you couldn't put potatoes, stuff like that in here. some food direct consumption. But once it's cooked, it's fine. But corn is processed, and corn is about.
When you guys take some of it out to put on the fields, do you use the same trucks?
No, we use a hose system. So in other words, we have actually a boat that goes out there and floats and agitates, and then we pump it to a tractor that has a big pump on it, and then we a hose that goes back and forth in the field and actually injects it under the soil. So in other words, you get too much compaction if you drive on the soil with trucks and tanks. So you use a hose system.
Some of the regulations regard prevention and remediation of substances potentially emitted through lagoon overflow and gas emissions. Water samples need to be sent in every 3 months to ensure there is no leakage into nearby groundwater.
Along with that, they cannot grow certain vegetables according to DNR standards. So in conclusion, the wastewater management lagoon in our town is a recycling process that has no real negative impacts on the environment. It is a necessary process that, if done right, helps our farms and crops to grow more efficiently and effectively.